everything. Your suffering is almost at an end.
We got to start with the villain, Vecna. How does Vecna compare to the villains that we've seen in previous seasons?
Well, he's different in a couple ways, and a big one just being that he's a little more sentient and intelligent. So while he is still unknowable and he is still a monster and he is, in the upside down, I think that's something we wanted to do. This is someone that it's not going to be so easy to outsmart. Whereas last season was really our big monster movie, Jurassic Park, summer blockbuster season. That's what the feel we wanted to go with that. This is like much more psychological, and he's just much more sentient. And that makes it so much harder, of course, for our characters to deal with him and to know how to beat him. And on top of that, of course, Eleven's not even in Hawkins and she doesn't have her power. So it's quite we really wanted to paint our characters in a corner and make them feel like they're in real danger.
Matt, why was it hard or why was it necessary to get so dark? Because I don't think fans are prepared for how dark things get.
A couple things. One, as my brother said, season 3 felt so it had its very dark moments, scary moments, but it was a much lighter, brighter, poppier season. And we just always want to try something different. And we wanted to try our hand at some heavier horror, but it was also very much informed. It felt necessary because the core group of kids who are not kids anymore, they're teenagers, they're in high school. Ross and I and our writers all talked about our experiences in high school. A lot of us had difficult experiences in high school, and it felt like it's a difficult time, a challenging time for young adults. It's a very transitional time where you're trying to figure out who you are, and a lot of kids struggle. And there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of depression, and it just felt on top of that we had characters who had experienced severe trauma at the end of season 3. So season 3 was a fun season, but it had a very dark ending. And it felt like, okay, in order to explore all of these themes, it feels right to evoke the type of horror films that my brother was talking about. So the more psychological horror, it felt right for the story and then we love those movies, and we wanted I've always wanted to do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and it's probably never going to happen. But this is our take on it, and what a Nightmare on Elm Street movie would be. And then we got Robert Englund, we got Freddy Krueger in the show, so it's really been a fun season to make.
Who used to freak me out as a kid, and he's definitely going to freak people out when they see him in this season of Stranger Things. Guys, Ross, I'll just put it to you. Sure. Is this playing out how you guys envisioned it? The show turned 6 this year. You announced there's going to be a 5th and final season. Is this how you envisioned it? Have you changed things? How has it stayed close to your original plan?
I mean, of course. I mean, listen, we had a sense of where it was going to go from the very early on when we were writing season 1. We started to, and especially as we started to break season 2, we go, okay, let's make sure all this mythology is buttoned up, and let's make sure we sort of know where our end game is. But we're leaving it purposely a little. We don't want to go into too much detail because you got to leave room to explore, to evolve, to change. I mean, there's so many things we discover season by season. So, we were able, when we went on hiatus this year, to start mapping out season 5. But even that, we've learned so much from just making 4 that I'm sure that's going to continue to evolve. We learn something new every season. And like Matt's saying, we don't want to repeat ourselves. And so it's just, it just keeps evolving, but we've always known what that end game was. And we know it's really just about the journey to get there that keeps changing.
People say Hawkins is cursed. They're not way off.